What's up, Failroaders? Welcome to part 7.5 of our How to Play Star Wars Rebellion and the Rise of the Empire expansion. Now, this 7.5 builds off of the last episode, which teaches you everything you need to know about combat in the base game. So now I'm going to go through everything that's different about combat in Rise of the Empire. And personally, I love it. I've already set up a battle here between the Empire and the Rebels, and it features all of the new units and abilities that these guys can use. First off, there is an interdictor here, and the interdictor has a special ability that prevents the Rebels from retreating, so the Rebels are in here for the long haul. I've also got an assault tank and a TIE striker as well. The assault tank right there and the TIE striker. All of the new units roll green dice, and 3 green dice come in the set, so you can only ever roll a maximum of 3 green dice. These dice are added to the pool of the other 10 dice that you can roll, so in combat in the expansion you can roll a maximum of 13 dice. Now, we're not going to be rolling 13 dice on this battle, just because I wanted to simplify it a little bit. The last battle got a little out of hand. I've already placed the leaders who are going to be representing each faction out here. So we've got Grand Moff Tarkin versus Chiru Imwa from Rogue One. On the Rebel side, we've got the Gallon Arms Turret. Then we've got the Rebel Vanguard. Then we have the Nebulon B Frigate. And a U-Wing. Once again, all of those roll green dice as well. Now, the 4th unit for the Empire is the Shield Bunker, which is located over here. The Shield Bunker has some special rules that I go over in a different video, but I will say that when it comes to combat, this Shield Bunker can protect either the Death Star or the Death Star under construction. So you're definitely going to want to watch your back when it comes to those. Now, before I get into the beginning of the combat, I'm also going to go over the greatest change they made to this game, and that is the advanced cinematic tactic cards. So one of the things I wanted to go over with are some of the things that might be confusing to you when you first get this and play it. First off, 4 of the cards, 2 in the Empire and 2 over here in the Rebels, you'll see in a second, have abilities that allow them to be the second person to attack in a round instead of the first person. And you might be wondering, well, wouldn't I want to be the first person to attack? Well, I'm going to go over that when we get deep into the combat system. We've also got cards here that can be quite strategic, but don't have special symbols on them. In fact, if you can play this at the right time, you can eliminate an Imperial leader, which is a pretty powerful thing to do. You can also play one additional ground tactics card, or you can play one additional ground tactics card. This is the Empire, this is the Rebels. So why would you just want to play this card in order to play another card? Well, the way ground tactics work, and the way space tactics work in the cinematic advanced tactics cards is you start off with every single card in your hand at the beginning of combat, unless you've already discarded one in a previous combat. So you might want to discard, say you're down to your last 2 cards and one of them is this card. You can then play your last ground tactic card and then regain all of your ground tactics cards back. So the way it works is you start off with all 8, and then one by one you use them all and discard them and keep discarding, and it becomes more limited and more limited until you finally use your last one and you can regain every single one of them back. There's no shuffling, nothing to have to worry about. Much simpler. Now, once again, here are the tactic cards that allow you to go second, and then you've also got this one that I want to explain as well. This one deals 1 damage to 1, let me read it. The Ion Blast deals 1 damage to 1 capital ship, and damage cannot be removed from that ship this combat round. That's a great time to take out one of the Empire's really big Imperial capital ships. You'll notice these symbols also on the cards. That means if you have that unit in that particular combat theater, you can use the top portion of this card instead of the bottom portion, and the top portion is usually much better. So let's take a look at what that might look like. So it's the beginning of the combat. Once again, the Imperials are the aggressors. Now, since we have all of our tactics cards in our hands to begin with, we don't have to draw anything, which means these numbers in the lower left hand and right hand corners no longer apply to drawing cards. So what do you use them for? Well, these have now become dice rerolls. So, in the case of Grand Moff Tarkin, he can reroll 2 dice in space combat and 1 dice on ground combat. And Chirrut can do the opposite. He can reroll 1 on space combat and 2 on ground combat. You'll also wonder what the shield bunker can be used for now. Well, if you have cards in your discard pile, you can, at the beginning of each round, draw one of those cards and put it back in your hand. So the shield generator is still a great thing to have on a planet. It's still going to give you a lot of benefits. So let's take a look at what this combat is going to be like. In the new form of combat, each player is going to choose their card simultaneously, put it face down until everyone's ready, and then they flip it up and reveal them both at the same time. The aggressor is going to be the one to achieve their card first, unless one of the words on the card says cancel. Then, no matter what, the person who cancels the other person's card wins. So in this case, reinforcements, I'm using the top portion because I've got the proper unit there. I'm going to gain 1 TIE fighter in that region. I just simply gain it. It doesn't have to move from anywhere. It just magically appears. And then I can prevent 2 black hits. And you can see the symbols there. It says a black hit, not a black direct hit. So that is going to be in effect this battle round. And for the rebels, since we have an X-Wing there, we're going to deal 2 black damage. So the 2 black damage gets canceled out by the prevent 2 black damage right here, and any dice rolls that go through for the rebels is going to hit. So the Empire was the aggressor, and they will be the first to attack in the space battle. We still do a space battle and then a ground battle. First off, my TIE Striker gets to roll 1 green dice, and my Interdictor gets to roll 2 green dice. So I'll add that to my hand. I've got 3 TIE Fighters, each rolling a black dice. And I've got 1 Assault Carrier, which is going to roll 1 red and 1 black. Now, if you're wondering what the difference between the green dice are, they have 2 direct hits on them, and the rest of the sides are blank for a 33% chance of hitting their target. Let's roll. And we see that we got this special symbol. We got 3 direct hits. Oops. That we can add anywhere we want. Now, this special symbol, instead of allowing you to draw or use special tactics cards, is now used to block damage. And this is the reason that you want to be the second attacker in a round, because the Imperial player has no damage that can be blocked right now. So these 2 dice are just wasted. Remember, Grand Moff Tarkin can reroll 2 dice, so we're going to do that right now. We got 1 more hit, and now we're going to disseminate those hits using our damage markers. I really want to get rid of that Nebulon B frigate, so I'm going to add 3 hits, all of these direct hits, to it right away. I'm going to denote that with 3 hit markers. And then we have 1 black hit, which we will put on the U-Wing. Now, the Rebel fighters still get their chance to attack. You might be wondering, what good are these Rebel transports and attacks? Well, now, with these advanced tactics cards, they can actually do something in combat. They can actually help prevent hits. Probably should have chosen that one too. So now the Rebels in their spaceships can attack. Once again, we have enough of the new units to roll all 3 green dice. We're going to go roll 1 red dice for the U-Wing, or for the Y-Wing, and then 1 black dice for the X-Wing. Oh, wow. That couldn't have gone any better for that. And then Chiru gets to roll, or re-roll 1 dice. So I'll re-roll 1 black dice. Hey, look at that. We got that special symbol, the crossed lightsabers, which now means that we can take away damage from one of our ships. And we'll do that now. We'll take away this damage by adding that dice there. And now that ship is not going to get destroyed at the end of the round. Now we're going to take these 3 direct hits. Oh man, what are we going to do? I tell you what. We're going to put those direct hits on this assault carrier and 1 on the TIE Striker. And now that is the end of the first round of space combat. So now that the end of the round has come about, we then take a look at which units have enough damage to knock them off of the battle. So the U-Wing has to go. The assault carrier is destroyed. And the TIE Striker. So the Rebels still can't retreat because this interdictor is here, but the interdictor and its crew could also retreat if they wanted to. Neither of them are going to retreat. Let's see how the ground battle goes. Once again, the Imperial and the Rebel choose their ground tactics cards at the same time, and then they flip them over. And this is where things get really interesting. They've chosen some very good cards. Since the Empire is the aggressor, they're going first. And they've chosen the Target the Generator. And it simply says, destroy 1 structure, it will not roll dice this turn. Oh man. Alright. So, of course, they're going to go for the Shield Generator, thematically. But the Rebels have chosen to use Tow Cable. So, because they have a land speeder, they can deal 4 damage to an AT-AT or an AT-ST. Looks like that AT-AT is going bye-bye. So there's 4 damage to that. It only has 3 health, so it has 1 over its health value, which means they'll have to take away 2 health for it to survive this battle. So you can see how the advanced tactic cards make combat much more enticing and much more thematic. Now let's go ahead and roll for these characters. The Empire has 2 stormtroopers for 2 black dice. They've got 1 assault tank, which is going to roll 1 green dice. And then they have the AT-AT, which still gets to roll dice. It's not dead yet. And it rolls 1 black and 2 red. So let's see what they get. Oh, not very good. And Moff Tarkin can only reroll 1 dice. So he's going to reroll a red one. Let's see what happens. Hey, it turned into a hit. All right. 2 direct hits and 1 hit. So they're going to take these 2 direct hits and put it on this pesky snow speeder so it can't do any more critical damage, and then they're going to take this one red hit and they're going to apply it to the turret. So we've got our 1 damage there, and we've got our 2 damage right there. This is enough to destroy the snow speeder, so the rebels are going to need to roll some specials on their dice in order to save it. But we know that the AT-AT is going bye-bye at the end of this turn because they didn't roll any specials in order to save theirs. So now the rebels get to retaliate. The turret rolls 2 green dice, and the vanguard rolls 1 green dice, so that's all the green dice in there. Then there's the rebel trooper, and then the snow speeder, which rolls 1 red and 1 black. So here we go, let's see, that's pretty evenly matched as far as the ground combat goes. And then Chiro gets to re-roll 2 dice, so we're going to take these blanks. Oh wow, look at that. I think these dice are weighted. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is take away 1 red damage. So we've got that damage right there. And now the snow speeder is only going to have 1 damage, allowing it to survive this round of combat. Now what are we going to do with all this other damage? We've got enough hits, I believe, to destroy everything else. So we are going to give all 3 of these direct hits to the tank, 1 black hit to this stormtrooper, and 1 direct hit to the other stormtrooper, and that is going to wipe out the Imperials. So now it's the end of the round, and anything that has equal to or greater damage to its health value is eliminated. Wouldn't you know it? The rebels have wiped out the ground forces, and all of their guys have survived. Now, the space battle would still rage on, but the ground battle has been won by the rebels. Now, if that TIE Striker had survived, I would have been able to play a card for the TIE Striker that says destroy 1 ground unit. So that would kind of be rubbing, salt in the wound that they've already opened on me, but in the end, it's not enough to destroy me on the ground. So that's how a round of combat looks in the new expansion to Star Wars Rebellion. I love it. I think this is so much smoother and just so much more fun and just twists and turns everywhere than the original base game. If you want to see how that looks, you can check out the first video before this one. If I didn't answer any questions, they might be answered in that video as well. So be sure and check it out. And be sure to like and subscribe and click that bell button next to the subscribe button so that you can get the next videos in this whole series that we're doing of everything you need to know about Star Wars Rebellion. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time. Hey, is there a question that you had that this video didn't answer? Leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But keep in mind that your answer might just be in a different video if it's in a different category. Thanks for watching.